I would like to talk to you today about the dangers of driving over flooded roads. The truck driver did not know when he made the decision to cross the bridge that was flooded that he would never go home again. Because of incidents like this, the National Weather Service has come out with a slogan to try to help motorists think before they do something like that. The slogan is entitled, "Don't drown, turn around." South Carolina has not seen the type of flooding that we just had. If more people were informed about safety precautions, more lives could be saved. First, I want to talk about some of the issues that a vehicle could have from being driven in and after being in floodwaters. Second, I want to share some facts and statistics concerning motorists and pedestrians who try to navigate in that condition. Third, I want to disclose some options to the motorists so that they could have those safety tips to be available, knowing what to do if they're caught in a flood. I myself watched an 18-wheeler truck navigating over a bridge that was flooded with a long trailer attached, and shortly thereafter, the bridge collapsed. I researched the DOT's website, checking for road closures and bridges that had collapsed from being weakened by the waters. I want to give you some information today concerning some problems of a vehicle that could happen if they were driven in floodwaters. I went to the Texas DMV website and found that they have posted some tips to consumers that would help them know how to spot a car if someone had it and it was involved in a flood. First, a car might exhibit rust around the screws and possibly around the bottom of the door. A second thing would be that an alternator could have dirty grit in the crevices of it. A third, the whole wiring system could be faulty or inoperative and need to be replaced. There are danger factors that would happen to the car and motorist as well. In deep enough waters, a car's tire can lose road contact. And when this happens, this is called aquaplaning because the driver no longer has control of the car and water takes it where it wants to and the driver is at rest. I've told you about some mechanical problems that could happen. Now I want to share some things that could happen to the motorist in the car and even pedestrians when they try to cross floodwaters. The National Weather Service reported out of all rain-related events, more deaths happen each year because of flooding. All that's necessary to carry a small car away would be just 12 inches of rushing water, and 2 feet of rushing water could carry away most vehicles. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have reported a startling statistic that revealed over 50% of all drowning related to floods happen by motorists trying to drive their car, and they end up being swept downstream and drowned. More pedestrian info from the National Weather Service website reveals the second next highest percentage of flood-related deaths are attributed to pedestrians trying to navigate in floodwaters. They get too close to the water, they fall in, they don't realize it's as deep as it is or rushing as it is, and it only takes 6 inches of rushing water to knock an adult down. I've informed you about problems that could possibly happen to your car during and after being driven in these conditions. I've talked about the dangers of navigating on flooded roads for motorists and pedestrians. Finally, I want to discuss motorist precautions for getting about safely in flood. I would like to share some options that are available to a motorist in these conditions. A government website in Vermont contains an article entitled "Flooded Roads: Hazards of Driving a Vehicle Across Flooded Roads," in which the motorist is given advice. The slogan, "Turn around, don't drown," is used, and the driver is strongly encouraged not to drive through flooded areas. When you see this, you should turn around and try to find a different way to get to where you're trying to go. A motorist would really need to be cautious and careful if navigating at night, because you can't see how deep the water is. You can't see the dips in the road. And a road could be washed out on the undersurface of it from waters standing up on it or rushing over it. Should water levels be too high and you can't find an alternate direction to go, retreat to a higher place and stay there till the waters subside. In a book entitled "Floods, Flash Floods, and Mudslides, A Practical Survival Guide," wrote by G.S. Princess, he stated, If rising water traps your car, open a door or window to let water inside so the car won't go floating downstream, and climb on the roof and wait for help. And drivers should never, ever pull around any barriers warning that the road ahead is flooded. First, I shared information on mechanical problems to a vehicle. Second, I talked about the dangers to a motorist and pedestrian. And third, I went over options that you could take to stay safe. Once again, it's my intention to inform you about safety precautions. I began my speech talking about the truck driver that crossed a flooded bridge. Had he adhered to or known some of these tips, he might be with us today. Knowing is half the battle, and I have tried to inform you, my audience today, about some knowing that can help you stay safe in the event of a flood.